Hello.
Hello.
So we're back for our yearly
Stanley
predictions.
Cup Playoff Predictions, yeah.
Yes. And so it is 11 o'clock at night. Technically, everything is not set in stone yet, but we're just making this because I'm going to be in Disney World when the playoffs start, and he's going to be in Kentucky.
Yes.
Picking up his sister.
From college, yep.
From college. So right now, the Avs are beating the Kings 5-1. So we're going to assume that they get the President's Trophy.
In the division.
The division. And then also tomorrow, Toronto plays Winnipeg. And we're going to assume Toronto wins that game. And they would be, if they come atop the North, they would be the third seed.
Yes.
If all the one seeds make it to the Final Four, then they would be the third seed, is what we're saying.
Yep.
Because they're currently tied with the Penguins in RW and ROW. So yeah, it's just a little background before, in case anything changes for the start of this video. So.
And just warning to all you guys out there, this is just our predictions, so don't get offended.
Yes.
We know we're not going to be 100% right, but I guarantee you we'll be mostly right.
Yes, that's exactly what we said last time. We do sometimes get hate comments, which is honestly fine. Whatever, we embrace the hate. We just want comments on the video.
The favorites never win. They will
never
be
do.
underdogs.
Yep, exactly. So
we won't be picking one seeds the whole time because that's not realistic.
yeah, maybe. Okay, so so what do we got first? The West.
Sure, we go with the West first.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with the West first. So yeah, you want to read your West?
So for the West, you got the two matchups. You got the Colorado Avalanche versus the St. Louis Blues, and the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Minnesota Wild. The first matchup, Colorado and St. Louis. I got the Avs winning in 7. I think it's going to be a closer series. I think St. Louis is a good team still. They've been playing very well at the end of the year, and usually teams that play well towards the end of the year do pretty well in the playoffs. But however, the Avalanche have also been playing very well. They won the President's Trophy for a reason. I think it's going to be a great series. I wouldn't be surprised if St. Louis upset them, but I still think the Avs are going to win in 7.
Yeah.
And secondly, I got Vegas versus Minnesota. I think it's another good series. Minnesota is a young, good team. They highly exceeded expectations this year. But I think Vegas is deeper, and they're just a team that's built for the playoffs, so I'm going to have them winning in 6.
Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, for me, the Avs Blues. I have the Avs in 6. One less than 7. Yeah, it's true. Whenever you play good towards the postseason, you tend to do very well in the postseason, but the Avalanche are the Avalanche. And unfortunately, the Blues have to play them. So we're going to Avs in 6 there. And then Vegas versus the Wild. Yeah, like you said, Vegas, they're just geared for deep playoff runs. They've done them literally every time they've been in the league, except that time they blew it to the Sharks. And so yeah, I'm going to go Vegas in 6. Wild, they have a good future, but this year, it's just not their year. Just like with the Rangers. At least the Wild made it to the playoffs, but that's as far as they're getting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So moving on to the East, we got the Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Islanders, the Washington Capitals versus the Bruins. So Pittsburgh versus the Islanders, I got the Penguins winning in 5. These are two teams moving in opposite directions. The Penguins have been on fire since Ron Hextall has come in as the GM, having the third best record since that time in the whole league. The Islanders have been not great entering the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And just like teams that do well entering the playoffs, they do well. Teams that usually do bad entering the playoffs don't do well.
Mm-hmm.
Penguins have had their number this year. I know the Islanders swept them in 2019, but that was 2 years ago. They're two different teams. The Penguins are deeper. Yeah. They have a lot of speed, just like they did in 16 and 17.
Mm-hmm.
Penguins have the best home record in the league too, so I'm going Pens in 5. Next, we get the Caps and the Bruins. Caps have been dicey lately. The Bruins have really picked it up since the trade deadline. Taylor Hall is fitting well there, extremely well. He's found his game there on that team. I think it'll be a good series, but I got the Bruins winning in 6. I think they've been playing better lately.
Mm-hmm. So for me, I got the Pens in 5 against the Islanders, just like he did. Yeah, like you said, Penguins. Penguins really for the past few months have been playing like consistently well, while the Islanders have not. Ever since Anders Lee got hurt for the entire season, they made a few acquisitions in the trade deadline, but they really haven't done much. They haven't really bolstered the team at all. They fit in fine, but yeah, it's just going up and down, like you said. So I'm going to do Pens in 5 there. Then Caps Bruins. You had the Bruins in what?
6.
6. Well, I have the Caps in 7. Pens Caps. Everyone wants to see it. Like you said, the Bruins, they have been playing very, very well lately, and the Caps not so much. But granted, the Caps were without a lot of their best players. Last game of the season against the Bruins, I guess both teams were kind of playing like their AHL teams. But I don't know. I'm going to go with the Caps in 7 there. It's going to be a close series, obviously. But, yeah.
All right, moving on to the Central Division. We got Carolina versus Nashville in the Battle of Florida. So Carolina and Nashville, I got the Hurricanes winning at 6. I love what Rob Brind'Amour has done with this team ever since he came in as head coach. They've been great this whole year. Obviously won the division. They were in line to win the President's Trophy for a long time until Colorado came up and snuck it, but it doesn't really matter. I think Nashville, they've had a solid year. A lot of people thought they'd be on the downhill, but they snuck in as the 4th seed. But I think Carolina should win at 6. Mm-hmm. In the Battle of Florida, I'm really looking forward to this series. I think they're 2 really good teams. Florida finally got over that hump after years of them saying they would be good. People saying they would be good, and all the talent they have. They finally got it together. Year 2 under Coach Q. Tampa Bay, they're going to get Kucherov back, defending Stanley Cup champions. Will be a great series. I think it's a coin flip, but I think I'm going to go with the veterans in Tampa to win at 7.
All right. So my Central Division, I have Carolina in 7 over Nashville. I was originally going to do 6 because 6 just seems like the best number. But I extended it a bit because Nashville has been playing very good lately, which is kind of surprising. I mean, they were very close with Dallas for a while, like only 2 points separating them, and then they really just took off. And recently, Nashville played Carolina and beat them badly, which obviously Carolina is still very good, but that could show signs. And that's why I'm also taking Florida in 6, because Florida and Tampa just finished a 2-game series. There was a lot of bad blood between the 2 teams, and Florida beat them very bad both games. So obviously that's not the playoffs, but it had a very playoff feel to it. And Tampa was without many of their superstars, and they already said Stamkos and Hedman were coming back, and you said Kucherov is coming back. I don't know when he's going to come back. I don't think he's going to be back for Game 1, though. He might be. I don't know. I just didn't read that. But it'll be tougher for Florida, but I don't know. I'm going to have Florida squeaking out. They need to win a playoff series. They haven't won a playoff series in so long. And I know Tampa, defending Cup champions. Right? Yeah. And Tampa, they just came off the Cup. But I don't know. It's a weird year, so we're going to have Florida and Carolina coming out of the Central.
And lastly, we got the Canadian division, or the Junior Hockey League division, as some people call it.
Yes.
So we got Toronto versus Montreal, the first time they're meeting the playoffs since the late 70s. Then we got Edmonton and Winnipeg. Toronto and Montreal, I got Toronto winning in 5 easily. I don't think Montreal's a very good team. The only reason they're in the playoffs is because it's the way the playoffs are set up this year, and they're playing in that awful division. So Toronto should handle them very easily. Then we got Edmonton versus Winnipeg. Winnipeg has been playing absolutely awful entering the playoffs. Horrendous. McDavid and Draisaitl should make quick work of them, winning in 5.
Yeah. Toronto Canadiens. I have Toronto in 4. I know the Canadiens have actually been playing very well against Toronto this year, but I don't know. I needed a sweep, so Toronto's getting the sweep. And then Oilers, Winnipeg. I have Oilers in 6. Winnipeg has not been playing good at all lately, and the Oilers have. But I don't know. I can see Winnipeg squeaking a few wins out, maybe breaking through that lousy defense of the Oilers, because minus Darnell Nurse, because he's been playing good defensively. Tyson Barrie has not been playing good defensively, but he plays good offensively because of all those power play points because of McDavid and Draisaitl. So that's not really the point. That's just me going on about the Oilers, but we'll go Oilers in 6.
Moving on to the second round of the playoffs. Starting with the Western Division, we got Colorado and Las Vegas. Great series. The 2 powerhouses in that division. The 2 top teams in the league.
2 best teams in the league, yeah.
I mean, it's a coin flip, but I'm going to go with McKinnon and the Avs to finally get past the second round and beat Vegas in 6 games.
I'll go with mine too. I also have Avs in 6. I think against Vegas, obviously, literally the 2 best teams in the league. But the Avalanche, they got to get over that hump eventually. everyone's been saying it for years, ever since really McKinnon has emerged as the top 3 player in the league. So yeah, this is the year they finally make it past second round.
All right, moving on to the East Division, we got the Penguins and the Bruins. Bruins have given the Penguins some trouble this year, but I think come playoff time, the Penguins will be a different animal. I think it's going to be a great series, but I think we're going to end up winning in 6.
So for me, I have the Penguins versus the Capitals, and it's going to be another one of those classic series. You know, we've seen them a lot these past few years, I guess, like over since the last decade. But we're going to go Pens in 7. The Pens get back at the Capitals for, what was it, 2018? Or
2018.
2018 they got them. So yeah, it's finally time. They had 3 years in a row. Time to be back. Pens, Caps, Pens in 7.
All right, the Central Division matchup for me is Carolina and Tampa Bay. Great series again. Tampa Bay trying to get for the repeat, but I think Carolina is going to be too much for them. I have them winning in 5. All these young players, they already went to the conference final 2 years ago. I think they're a very strong team, really good chance at the Cup. So Carolina in 5 over Tampa.
Yeah, so I got Carolina versus Florida, and I'm going to go Carolina in 6 games. Florida will give it a little bit of a run for their money, but Carolina's way too good. Yeah, that's really it. Carolina in 6.
So Canadian Division, I got Toronto and Edmonton. I'm going to go with a little bit of an upset here. There's always upsets. I think Edmonton's going to win 7. Toronto finally wins their playoff series against the Canadiens, but can't get past Edmonton in the second round as McDavid leads them after his historical season this year in 7 games.
So I got Toronto versus Oilers. Obviously, Toronto I have going on in 6 games. And now, you know, you're not really a big Toronto guy. I do like Toronto, however, and I think Matthews and Marner.
I like Toronto.
Well, yeah, I always thought you didn't like them.
They just, I don't know, their fan base kind of reminds me of the Cowboys. So
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the fan base, but I do like the team. I love Matthews, great American player.
Mm-hmm.
I wish
Love
them
our
well.
American
I
boys.
just
You wish them well. But yeah, I know you're just trying to pick an upset as well, but I'm gonna go Toronto. I mean, I don't really like my picks as of right now. I have the 1 seed in every division, which we talked about a minute ago. But I don't know. This is what I think is gonna happen. I think the Avalanche are the best team in the West, and they're gonna win. I think the Pens are the best team in the East, and they're gonna win. Toronto North and Carolina in the Central. There it is. So yeah, I don't know.
All right, so moving on to the 3rd round. It's a little different this year. The final 4 teams will reseed based on their points from the regular season. Mm-hmm. So my matchup would be the 1 seed Avalanche versus the 4 seed Oilers.
Yeah.
The 2 seed Hurricanes versus the 3 seed Penguins.
Mm-hmm.
So Avalanche and Oilers, another upset. Edmonton beats the Avs in 6 and advances to the Stanley Cup Final. I don't know. I just feel strongly about Edmonton right now. I feel like there's got to be some teams that surprise people, and why not Edmonton with McDavid and Draisaitl?
You might as well read your other one too.
And in the other game series, Carolina and the Penguins, 2 powerhouse teams, both win the division. I think it's going to go 7 games. I think the Penguins are going to win in 7 games in a tight physical series between 2 great teams. Yeah. Crosby and Malkin are not done yet and advances to the Stanley Cup Final. So then I go a match between Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
What everybody wants to see.
It's true. That is what everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
So for me, how it works is, well, it's kind of weird because, like I said at the beginning of the video, we're kind of basing Toronto getting at least a point out of this Winnipeg game, or something, I don't know, or Toronto just is the 3rd seed, or if this would happen, because I'm not sure. I just know regulation wins and regulation overtime wins are the first 2. I don't know where it goes after that. But so if Toronto ends up not getting a point and they end up being like below the Penguins, then my entire 3rd round is completely different, or whatever, semifinals is completely different. But just say that we are right, then it will be the Avalanche as the 1 seed, the Penguins as the 4 seed, Carolina as the 2nd seed, and Toronto as the 3rd seed. So that means Avs Pens. That was my preseason Stanley Cup prediction, and the same outcome was I picked the Pens to win. So I'm going to continue that. I'm going to pick the Penguins to win in 7 games over the Avalanche. It's going to be a good series, But Penguins are just the Penguins know what it's like, or know how to win in those series, and the Avalanche don't. They're getting their taste at as close as they've been to the Cup, but they're not quite there yet. And then I have Carolina versus Toronto. And in this series, I have Carolina winning in 6 games. Everyone's saying once Toronto meets a team out of the North, they're going to crumble. And I don't know. I don't necessarily think they're going to crumble, but it's basically a 50-50. They're going to make it to the Cup or not, and they're not going to. So I have the Pens in 7, moving on to the Stanley Cup Final, and the Carolina Hurricanes in 6, moving on to the Stanley Cup Final.
All right. So like I said, my Stanley Cup Final is Edmonton versus Pittsburgh. McDavid v. Crosby. It's going to be one for the ages. The 2 stars of the league, the 2 faces of the league. The next generation versus the old generation.
Yep. Who's going to best who?
I'm going to go with the old generation. Crosby, Pittsburgh, they're not going to lose a cup if they get there again. They know what it takes to win. Great run by Edmonton, I think.
Mm-hmm. It'll be like a Dallas Stars-esque run.
Yeah, like the Dallas Stars, yeah.
They've
Vegas for that.
Yeah, even Vegas, I suppose. But
they did a great series. Yeah.
Literally, there's nothing else you can say about that. You can literally match up one player across the board with every player on both teams, and but in the end, Penguins have more depth, and they would win that series. That's not mine. I'm just talking for him.
Yeah, I agree. I think they have more depth. Now the Penguins have home ice advantage in the series, and we all know, they don't win at home. So they're going to win the Stanley Cup Final in 6 games. Leave from the Cup in Edmonton.
Yeah.
They'll probably be up 3-1, have a chance to win at home and lose.
Yeah.
and then win it in
probably
Edmonton
would. That's
game
what
6.
happened in San Jose.
But Conn Smythe, prediction, none other than Sidney Crosby. The guy's insane. He's been playing unbelievable this year. In my opinion, should win the Hart Trophy. Probably won't, because I think the Hart Trophy has lost its meaning. They usually just give it to the person who was the Hart, or the Art Ross, even though it's not what the trophy is meant to be.
Yeah.
That's more what the Ted Lindsay is. But
that's what it should be, yeah.
Sidney Crosby's been amazing this year. He's the best leader in this league. In my opinion, still the best 200-foot player in the league.
100%.
And I think the Penguins get another one with Sid and Gino.
Yeah, so, all right, so for me, I have the Penguins versus Carolina, and so that'd be Carolina would be have home advantage. And so I actually have the Penguins winning this in 5 games. The Penguins just absolutely tearing through Carolina, which also would make the Penguins lifting it on
Carolina.
In Carolina.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense because that's what happens. Penguins. Yeah, like we've said, the Penguins make it to the Cup Final. They're not going to lose another Cup Final. We are too good in Cup Finals. We just know what it takes to win. And our leaders are just better than Carolina's leaders. That's really
better than any team's leaders, to be honest.
And their team, especially Carolina. Nothing against Carolina, but it's just it's that experience that.
Yeah. I do think that Carolina group will win a cup eventually.
Yeah, they definitely could.
Maybe this year, who knows? But
yeah, we both think the Penguins. For my Conn Smythe, it's going to be a different one. It's going to be a little interesting. It's going to be Chris Letang, the man who was snubbed of multiple Norrises in his career, who doesn't get the love he deserves.
Disrespected by a lot of Pittsburgh fans, too.
Yeah, I know, and it's a shame being here, and seeing that. That's why I would love Gino to win another one, because he's also very disrespected, not only by Pittsburgh fans, but by the NHL, just like Letang. Number 101, no, he's really top 20 of all time, in my opinion, Gino. But so Letang, I think, if we can play a solid defense, then it'll go to Letang. Last year went to Hedman, even though Tampa lit up the score sheet.
Yeah, Point
still
could
went
easily
to
won it.
Yeah, Point could easily win it, and I think it'll be the same thing. But I think our defensive game will just be out of this world. We led the league this year in goals, so I think people are already expecting our offense to be insane. But if that defense comes out, other than the leader Chris Letang, he should win it. So
the Penguins have a speedy defense. They know how to get the puck north to south.
Yeah, they do, and that's
how you win.
That's how you win cups. That's how you win in the league to begin with.
Matheson, Cody Ceci.
Yeah. don't hate on Coyote Cece because he's pretty freaking good.
Cody Cece for the Norris.
Yeah, maybe. All right, and so that's it. I have the Penguins winning the Stanley Cup and Crystal Tang winning the Conn Smythe.
I also have the Penguins winning the Stanley Cup with Sidney Crosby winning the Conn Smythe.
So, yeah, that's it. That's our opinions. Like, I know we're Penguins fans, but, like, we're good.
Yeah,
so
good.
we're going to pick us to win the Cup.
And the Penguins were not my preseason.
No, they were not mine as well.
I had Colorado winning.
I'm pretty sure I had Colorado winning.
Over
also.
Carolina, but...
Yeah, actually, no, I did too, because I remember.
The Penguins have exceeded expectations.
By far.
And they look like a really good team.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the East, as everyone said, the East is the toughest division in the league. I mean, the whole year everyone's been saying that. And the Penguins were the number 1 seed.
Most people had us missing the playoffs.
Yeah. So, you know, when a team does that, it's looking pretty good. And, yeah, so that's why, I guess that kind of could explain our picks. If you guys have different thoughts, you can always leave comments. We accept all comments. Hate comments too. I mean, you know, it's not right to get triggered off of just 2 people living in Pittsburgh's opinions, but if you do get triggered, then let us know why. Let us know who you think, who we might have snubbed or talked. I mean, we said like 2 words about the Blues. The biggest Blues fan might be watching this right now and saying that they're going to win. Tell us why.
Good. I mean, I famously said last year that the Chicago Blackhawks would beat the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And I got a lot of crap for that, but guess what happened? The Chicago Blackhawks beat the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs.
But we also both picked the Penguins to win the Cup, and they got like destroyed.
Like I said,
really bad.
We're not always right. Nobody's always right, but I guarantee you, we're gonna be right most of the time.
Yeah. So thanks for watching. If you stuck around this long, maybe we'll try to do more of these. We usually don't though. We usually just do one every year. Yeah. Actually, I think last year we talked about the end of the year at one point.
Yeah.
So we might do that again, maybe after the first round. We'll discuss a little bit. So yeah, if this video gets a lot of views and likes and comments, it might not get a lot of likes because people might not like us picking the Penguins, but
hey, hate us because you ain't us, man.
Yeah. So I mean, and as Coach Plenville, Coach Q once told me and him on a FaceTime call, that we are spoiled with hockey, and yes, we are. And that's probably why we keep picking the Penguins.
We are the New England Patriots of the NHL. Mm-hmm.
Sidney Crosby, Tom Brady. Everyone hates him because they ain't him, and they don't have him on their team.
Bet against greatness.
Mm-hmm. Don't bet against Tom Brady. Don't bet against Sidney Crosby.
We are always a threat. Always.
Always a threat. All right, thanks for watching.
Let's go Pens.